So this was a great book, Shabkar's Food of Bodhisattvas, Buddhist teachings on abstaining from meat. And what's very fascinating is he was a practitioner of Vajrayana in Tibetan Buddhism, and traveled widely throughout Tibet, and was an advocate of vegetarianism. And traditionally, Tibetans were, and still are, big meat eaters. I mean, if you're from a desert region, it's very difficult to eat a lot of vegetables, as you might find in areas of India and whatnot, in various areas of South Asia. Or like during the Mahayana heyday of Japan, Korea, Vietnam, and China, where many lay practitioners and monastics were vegetarian. So this was highly unusual. So this was an interesting book. So I'll go ahead and read the back cover. It's going to be shiny, unfortunately. So let me see if I can. It says, based on the teachings of the Buddha, this book offers the most compelling and impassioned indictment of meat eating to be found in Tibetan literature, and is pertinent to anyone interested in vegetarianism as a moral and spiritual issue. The Buddha's teachings show how destructive habits can be examined and transformed gradually from within. The aim is not to repress one's desire for meat and animal products by force of will, but to develop heartfelt compassion and sensitivity to the suffering of animals, so that the desire to exploit and feed on them naturally dissolves. There are two texts presented here. One is an excerpt from Shabkar's book on marvels, consisting of quotations from the Buddhist scriptures and the teachings of masters of Tibetan Buddhism that argue against the consumption of meat, with Shabkar's commentary. The second, The Nectar of Immortality, is Shabkar's discourse on the importance of developing compassion for animals. Shabkar lived from 1781 to 1851, was a renowned practitioner and teacher of both the mind training and Dzogchen tradition of Tibetan Buddhism. He was a free spirit who chose to live as a hermit or a wandering pilgrim without home or possessions. Far from the organized life of religious establishments, he left behind many volumes of teachings, including a celebrated autobiography. He is famous for his concern for animals. And it's from Shambhala Books, and it was translated by the Padmakara Translation Group, based in France, with a distinguished reputation for all its translations of Tibetan texts and teachings. Its work has been published in several languages and is renowned for clear and accurate literary style. So anyway, this is a brilliant book. I really enjoyed this one. I'll go ahead and show you again. It's quite interesting, the different views from the historical Buddha is presented within the Theravada teachings and some of the original, some of the writings that remain from the original schools, the original 1718 schools. So I'm not sure what the differences and similarities are within that. I believe is it the Angamas, the original writings that were passed on from the Theravadins that were preserved in China. So anyway, this is interesting. It was a great book, by the way. So I recommend Food of the Bodhisattvas.